Hey, this is Chris with Beertown Austin. I'm here at Draught House with James Watt, BrewDog. You're the head of stuff and Emperor Penguin, yeah? All right. Hey, cheers. Thanks for being on.
Cheers. Thanks. No, it's good to be in Austin.
So what are we drinking here?
This is Paradox Isle of Ireland. So this is a 10% imperial stout, which we age for 6 months in a Scottish single malt whisky cask. Living in Scotland, we're huge fans of the fantastic whiskies we get there, and we're really excited to do some kind of cool cask aging things. So we make a 10% imperial stout and we put it in these oak casks for 6 months. In the Isle of Ireland, it's an island off the west coast of Scotland, and their whiskies quite light, quite fruity, maybe characterised by kind of sherried, cinnamon, kind of autumnal fruit flavours, and so much of that comes through in the beer. You also get a lot of dark bitter chocolate for the imperial stout itself, some toasted marshmallows coming from the oak. You're also going to pick up some licorice, a tiny bit of sea salt, and maybe just a little bit of smokiness in there, a bit of kind of herbal spiciness for the English hops, and the fruit flavours come through at the end. But just a kind of really nice beer for sipping. It works very well. You paired it with maybe some dark bitter chocolates after dessert.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, you can really get the oak in here, and yeah, I like it a lot.
Oh,
Thanks. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah. We cheers a lot on the show. So, James, what are you doing over here in the U.S.?
Cool. I'm just out in the U.S. for a couple of weeks, unleashing the Penguin and the Sink the Bismarck and the U.S. unsuspecting U.S. public. Here for 2 weeks. I'm at 12 different cities doing 12 different events. So coming through New York, Texas, California, Illinois, Cleveland, Washington DC. So a jam-packed schedule. But this is the best part of what I get to do, because without being able to speak to people about the beers, without people tasting and enjoying the beers, we wouldn't have a business at all. So it's really good to be out in the US, and just really good to be able to kind of share the beers and share our passion for making great beer with some people out here.
Yeah. So I guess you feel kind of like a rock star on tour a little bit.
Not quite yet. Maybe just a slightly bemused penguin that's a long way from home. We can go with that instead.
Yeah. So I guess on to the show. This is what you came here for. Yeah, I think you guys do a bunch of cool videos, and most people, I guess, paying attention to craft beer have seen them, kind of know the story with the Penguin and then the Sink the Bismarck. Do you want to just give me like a quick wrap up on those, or not wrap up? I guess little short version, brief story of the story.
Cool. Well, what we want to do as a company, I mean, the UK beer market is nowhere nearly as developed as the US craft beer market, so we want to kind of push the envelope, push the boundaries, and just draw attention to craft beer in the UK and challenge people's perceptions about what beer is and how it can be enjoyed. And one of the things we wanted to do to achieve that in the UK was to make some kind of crazy high ABV beers and just kind of push innovation in beer to somewhere that it had never before been, and just get more people speaking about craft beer in the UK, and just show people there is an alternative to the generic mass market monolithic beers which dominate the UK market, and at the same time produce something which really kind of challenges people's notion of what a beer can be and how to enjoy it. So Tactical Nuclear Penguin is a 32% imperial stout. We'll actually taste it just now, and hopefully I can open it like this. Yeah, here we go. Putting it in their down paper bags was actually a play in a Scottish thing. I mean, a lot of people drink generic beers in down paper bags and park benches, so we thought, what the hell, we'll make a 32% beer and we'll chuck it in our down paper bag just for a bit of fun. So this is a 32% imperial stout.
All right. That label, is that hand drawn?
Yeah, each label is hand drawn by either myself or Angela or Kelly in the office, and again, it's just to make it unique, to make it artisanal. We don't want to put it in some generic box that's got gold foil on it. I mean, we're kind of punky, we're edgy, we're different, and I think the packaging of the Penguin reflects that. So 32% imperial stout. It's been aged for a year and a half in 2 different types of Scotch whisky casks. We then don our penguin suit, we put the dog in a penguin suit, we take it to a local ice cream factory where we freeze it 4 times, and each time we freeze it, we're concentrating the flavours, we're concentrating the aromas, and just turning up the amplitude and the ABV. I mean, we're just turning up the volume every time and just making the whole thing more intense, and that's how we get it to the 32%.
Almost makes my eyes water a little bit.
Yeah, it's definitely potent, and a lot of the flavours that you're getting from this beer here are coming through this one as well, because it's the same base beer, but it's just got so much more intensity.
Yeah.
So it's a beer that you would kind of savor, you would enjoy, you would drink it just the same way you would drink a spirit. So it's almost better to think of it as a kind of good Scotch whiskey than a beer in terms of how you approach it and taste it.
Okay, yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Oh wow, it's good.
Yeah.
Kind of gets that whole evaporating on your tongue kind of thing going.
Yeah, I mean the alcohol's definitely there, and you can get some of the kind of alcohol burn. But the fact that we aged it for a year and a half as well just kind of really mellows it out. So I mean the alcohol's not too apparent. There's not too much heat in there. So I think that adds a lot to the beer itself. The fact it's been aged for so long in the oak casks.
Yeah, and you can see where it came from here. Definitely, you're definitely getting that.
Exactly. Yeah, you're getting a lot of the same flavors, but just kind of more intense, more demonic, kind of just a bit more punch into it.
Okay, so you guys did this, made the world record, yeah, and then what happened?
A German brewery called Schorschbrau released a 40% beer, and our 41% beer was released a couple of weeks afterwards. And some people maybe think it was a knee-jerk reaction to Schorschbrau's beer. It definitely wasn't. The Sink the Bismarck was a beer that we'd been working on for 6 months. I mean, you can't just magic up a 41% beer regardless how many wizards
I was wondering
and
that.
gypsies you have working in your brewery, and we have a lot. And the whole concept with Sink the Bismarck for us was to take IPA, which is our all-time favourite beer style and the kind of classic kind of draft beer style in our opinion, and we wanted to make an IPA that had the same alcohol content as a Scotch whisky. Living up in Scotland, we're kind of almost under the shadow of the Scottish whisky industry, so we wanted to make something that all the classic IPA components had the same strength as a good Scotch whisky, and it's just loaded with hops. So Sink the Bismarck has an insanely hoppy nose. I mean, it drinks like a beer. It's not like a beer spirit. It's not like a beer liqueur. It drinks like a quadruple IPA. There's the kind of biscuity, kind of cinnamon malt sweetness in the palate initially. You get the kind of bitterness that builds in the back of your throat. I mean, it's insanely bitter, and then you just get a huge avalanche of hops hitting you the end. And it's kind of some of our favourite American hops we use in there. We use some Chinook, we use some Amarillo, and we use some Centennial. So we're using kind of really amazing kind of flavourful American hops in there, and the beers is just a amazing experience and just kind of challenges how people think what an IPA can be, and just takes IPA to a different place altogether.
Yeah, tell me, I guess on your site you go into the brewing process for the Penguin. Tell me about the brewing process for the Sink the Bismarck.
Cool. Well, the process was quite similar for Sink the Bismarck. We made a 10% IPA, but we just hopped it to hell at every single stage. So Sink the Bismarck is mash hopped, first wort hopped, kettle hopped, it's dry hopped. But what we also do with Sink the Bismarck, we freeze hop it. So when we apparently it's a term we've invented because no one's done it before. But when we freeze the beer down, we load it with hops, and when we taste it later, it almost kind of infuses the hop oils into the beer. I mean, it's a crazy effect it gives you. But we took this beer down to minus 20 degrees Celsius. I don't know how much that is in the US system, but it's kind of penguin, Eskimo polar bear temperatures. Loaded with the kind of fantastic American hops. It just infuses the kind of alpha acids and the hop oils deep into the texture of the beer, and when you taste it, it almost kind of hammers the hop oils down into your tongue. It's just an amazing experience.
Cool. Yeah, I look forward to trying it later. Yeah, so I guess it's real quick. Is there anything in the pipeline for for BrewDog? Anything cool you're excited about coming up?
Yeah, I mean, we're always up to cool and unusual things, and we like to kind of push innovation and do different things. We've got a new beer coming to the US called 5am Saint, which we're really excited about. That's a 5% red ale, but got loads of hops, not too much bitterness, but just loads of late hops, loads of dry hops. So it's a kind of almost a kind of session beer with a kind of hop hit you would get from a double IPA. So we're excited about that. We're also made a Belgian quad with some vanilla beans that came out quite well, so we're excited to get that in the market as well. But we're always up to new things. We've got a blog on our website, which is BrewDog.com. It's our great place to stay up to date with what we're happening. There's new information, there's loads of videos as well, and we like to show people what we're making, and Marta and I love doing the videos, and it just lets people see exactly what we're making, what goes into it, and gives people our take on the beer. So the blog's definitely a good place to go to keep up to date with what's going down. Okay,
cool. Yeah. All right. I'm James Watt, BrewDog. We're at Draught House. Thanks for coming out, and thanks for watching. Cheers, everybody.